Following problem is number 3 on the review. Calculate the mass of nickel that could be obtained from 3.45 times 10 to the 25th formula units of nickel 3 oxide. Anytime we approach a problem like this, we want to write out the mole ratio statement first. And to do that, we're going to need to come up with the name of nickel 3 oxide. That's going to be our formula, our compound, so we're going to start that with 1 mole. And then we know that nickel, because the Roman numeral 3, so it has a charge of positive 3. Oxide comes from oxygen on the front of the periodic table, so as we crisscross those charges, we would end up with Ni2O3. And that's going to get us through our nickel 3 oxide, and we're looking for the mass of nickel, so we need to figure out how is nickel related to the Ni2O3, and that comes from the subscript 2 here, showing that there are 2 nickel for every 1 Ni2O3. Next, we're going to take our given, place our given over 1, 3.45 times 10 to the 25th formula units. And we want to be specific in our label, so we're also going to add in the nickel 3 oxide. And our first step that we're always going to do with these is make sure that we cancel out our given to go to moles. So step 1 is go to moles. Moles is that universal unit that we're going to be able to use to compare nickel 3 oxide and moles of nickel. So if I'm going to go to moles, I see formula units here. I know that to cancel out formula units, I'm going to need Avogadro's number over 1 mole. That's going to cancel those 2 units. My next step then is to use the mole ratio that we wrote, and that's going to be this one here. Again, I'm strictly canceling units first, always focusing on units, and then the numbers that are associated with those units are just going to tag along. So that forces the 2 on top. My final step is to get into my final answer. And the problem tells me that my final answer is mass of nickel. So I need to go to the periodic table, of course, after canceling my units. So I know I want to be left with grams on top. I'll go to the periodic table. I'll look for the mass of nickel, 58.69 grams. And I know that I'm finished with this problem because I'm asked to find mass, and I'm left with only grams of nickel on top. When you place this in your calculator, please make sure that you are putting parentheses around the bottom to ensure that your calculator is following proper order of operations. So when you complete this, your final answer should be 6.72 times 10 to the 3rd grams of nickel. Very important to have 3 significant figures, as our given only has 3 significant figures. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.